So you've got your camera, you've got your lenses, but you still run into issues when trying to shoot outside. You still feel limited because you just can't get that exposure right. Well, that's about the time that you look into these. Let's talk about lens filters. So lens filters are a simple and potentially very inexpensive addition to your camera kit that will be of a lot of use if you shoot outside. They're these slim pieces of glass that screw onto the front of your lens most of the time and provide all sorts of different kinds of utility. There are tons of different kinds of filters, from your basic protectors to your NDs to your multi-vision filters or your mist filters. But today we're going to be looking at the basic three. How many fingers am I? 3. And those 3 are ones that I think that every single photographer should have. Especially, like I said, if you shoot outside. And those are a UV filter / protector, an ND filter, and a circular polarizer. Starting off with the UV filter / protector. Now, this is the simplest one to recommend. First of all, it filters out UV light like the name suggests, and how that affects your photo quality is you can get more blue skies and more contrast, since UV light can cause haze in your images. On top of that, good quality UV filters can actually be permanently left on the lens, since they work as a cover and a protector for your actual lens glass, since they are very well coated and resistant against scratches, dust, and all of that stuff that would over time wear out the glass in front of your lens. And just like with phone screen protectors, if you break this, that will be a hell of a lot cheaper to replace than the front element of your lens. Moving on to ND filters. Now, ND filters are probably the most important filter that anyone who shoots outside can get. Because here's a little science fact. The sun is bright. And on a sunny day, getting proper exposure can be really difficult. Not because the settings wouldn't allow you to do that, but because it will significantly limit the look that you can get. So if you want to shoot with a wide aperture, well, that's going to be tough with a very bright environment already. Or if you want to shoot a long exposure, once again, you would need to slow down that shutter speed, which means that it brings your exposure up. I mean, you're probably already at minimum ISO, so your only option is to up your aperture, and at that point, you might just run out of maximum aperture on your lens, and you won't get something like a 1/5 of a shutter speed. And that's where ND filters come in. The simple idea of an ND filter is to reduce the light that enters your lens. So it will essentially just bring your exposure down, which allows you to make those modifications that give you more light, like shooting with a wide open aperture or with a slow shutter speed. And depending on how bright the situation is, there are ND filters with a wide variety of density, meaning that it brings down the exposure more, from 3 stops to 6 to 9 and so on. That is why if you're shooting outside at all, in sunlight, an ND filter is pretty much a must-have. Lastly, there is the circular polarizer. The idea of polarized lenses is to essentially get rid of reflexive light. So reflections from windows, from water, from any sort of surface really, will be reduced by using one of these. This is ideal when you want to shoot like a shot of a lake, but instead of having the sky being reflected from the water, you might actually see inside the water, depending on how clear the water is anyway. But besides just that example, polarizers are extremely useful when you're trying to shoot anything reflective from an angle. So if you're shooting watch faces, for example, using a polarizer will allow you to get rid of those reflections in the glass. Simply screw it onto your lens just like any other filter, and then just spin it so you can find the angle of light that you want to remove so you can get the photo that you like. Speaking of, if you're liking the video, remember to like the video. Thanks. So those are the 3 that I consider to be the most important lens filters, but there are a lot of different kinds for a variety of more specific use cases. Now, if you're curious about getting into lens filters yourself, I've personally bought 2 sets of 3 filters, which come with all these 3 ones from Hoya, and I will link that in the description below if you want to check it out. That will be an Amazon affiliate link, so using it will directly support the channel. So, thanks. But besides these very basic ones, there are way more expensive ones, better ones, that affect your photos less than these do. But that's all for this time. If you have any questions about lens filters or any corrections, let me know in the comments below. And also, if you have any tips regarding lens filters, let everyone know in the comments below. For example, if you're using a circular polarizer, this one, there's a very small grip surface that you can actually grab onto to rotate it off of your lens. Now, if you're having trouble getting it off and you just end up spinning the polarizer, get something like a mouse pad and wrap that around the filter, because mouse pads tend to have that rubber coating on the bottom, which will allow you to get the grip that you need to twist it off. That one has saved me a couple of times, because screwing these on is easy, screwing them off is a nightmare. Anyway, have a great rest of your week, everyone. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.